We're called actors, and yet what we try to do every single day is to not act.
I am Meredith Vickers, and it's my job to make sure you do yours.
Well, the movie is really asking an age-old question, I think, about our origins and where we come from and who created us and who created them. And, you know, when you come from the foundation of a scientist or a believer, like, and you find yourself in that moment, that hopeful moment, what is it that you want?
Let's say you do find these beings down there. You won't engage them. You will do nothing but report back to me.
This role was interesting to me because there was something about her that felt like a salmon swimming upstream. That she was just so against what everybody was so about on the ship. And I think as an actor, there's something interesting in kind of playing against what everybody else's motivation is, especially on a narrative like this.
God, ladies! You have to stop it!
We're not stopping anything, Shaw. We're going home.
She comes across as very distant and cold and passive-aggressive, and she doesn't really, she's a tough character in the sense that she doesn't kind of bleed her soul, but at her core, she's incredibly broken. And so the thing that really is driving her is this hurt that she's had all of her life. There's this real emotional engine that's really driving her, which is really interesting because when you're watching her, she seems so motivated by money and business and calculated kind of corporate things, and really at her core what's driving her is this need to kind of overcome a real pain.
I'll be closing the outer doors in 15 minutes. I sincerely hope you can make it.
We did talk about a lot of people who will go unnamed, who are Meredith Vickers is out there, you know, and come from these kind of big corporate worlds, and being women, it just kind of, it's a different energy, it's a different tone, and how that kind of applies when you put, you know, maybe more emotional dynamics into that.
Had you raised the monies yourself, Mr. Holloway, we'd be pursuing your agenda.
I think the chemistry between an actor and a director is really important. It's just as, I think, if not more important than the chemistry that you have with the actors. I was obviously really excited to work with Ridley Scott, but to then get together with him and start talking about this character and thematically what the story was about, it was really great to kind of see that we had a great chemistry, and we were interested in the same things, and we wanted to explore the same things, and we kind of asked the same questions. He's an incredibly smart man. He comes really prepared and knows what he wants, but at the same time, he has a real love for actors. He really invites that conversation. He wants you to ask the questions. There's something amazing when you walk onto a set and you feel like you're working with a director that realizes that, you know, there's something great in the partnership of an actor and a director.
If you're really going down there, you're going to die.
I think the challenge in making any film is really not the tiny specific moments, it's just in general. What you're trying to do is to find truth. And so every single day, I think that's the challenge. And every tiny little thing that you're doing, it's huge chunks in between actually shooting a scene, little tiny moments, you know. So you have to kind of understand what's happening in every single one of those moments, and you can kind of get veered away from the truth and just kind of like, you know, do mediocre real. And that's the challenge for me, is to always be present and try and always stay as truthful as I possibly can.
This is my ship. I'm telling you to take us home.
I think making this film was really special. And I think that's the thing that I always take away from every film that I finish is the idea that I won't remember in 20 years what this movie made or what critics thought of it, but you remember the actual event of making it and the people that you spend the time with. And it's a little bit like circus life, you know, you pack up the tent and set it up, and you hang out with a bunch of strangers for 3, 4, 5 months, and I think that's what I'll remember. And Ridley Scott basically, you know, my first day of shooting, inviting me onto my spaceship. I mean, I never thought I would have Ridley Scott do that. That was pretty cool.
He's not coming on my ship! That's it!